For me, my most used apps after social media it's News24.
Yeah,
so,
that's also on my phone.
Yeah, essentially like lying in bed before I go to sleep, I check News24.
Most of the time is I'm on the road, I'm an account manager, so a lot of it comes from the radio. I listen to the news obviously in the car, and then for instance if you see the billboards or the post-its on the side of the road, if I see something that catches my eye, I'll then go and Google it and have a look and see what it's all about. Otherwise I have Mail Online, an app on my phone which has got the news, but it's mainly a UK based sort of news. It has got different tabs, for instance, for your world news, your American news, and so on. It also has celeb news, which I'm really interested in. So that works very well for me.
For me, it would be checking out News24 on the net. I think I'm more internet, I'm based more on the internet in terms of checking out the news.
I work in a graphic design department, so the radio's on quite often. If something catches me, I would go and look it up online, see what it's about. Or if like one of my colleagues come in and say, oh, did you hear about the news? Was it about this happening somewhere? And then obviously I haven't go online, take a look, see what's happened.
Yeah, I'd actually watch or listen to the news in the morning, getting to work.
On the radio?
Yeah, that's on 94.7. And then during the day, like whenever I get a chance, I'd use my phone to access news. Like if I hear something about someone.
Pretty much every form of news. Like if I'm driving and I see little headlines on the street poles, then I would go home and I would like search it. But then I also have News24 as an app on my phone. Also Facebook, like if someone's posted something, I'll often redirect and I'll read what it's about. I don't get the newspaper, but I used to go to my grandparents on a Sunday and they'd always be reading the paper and I'd have a look. Also the radio.
Mostly it's on Twitter and Facebook, social networks. It brings the world together, social networks. So we've got news coming from the UK, from America, everything's all globalized into one platform. And I also use the app, the News24 application. Also follow SABC, Twitter, and all that. Everything is there.
Actually, there's something that I know a lot of people pay attention to is like satire news. A lot of times they write like articles just, with the current news, but sort of like teasing it a little bit. And, you're more likely, like I'm more likely to read that. We were brought up with brainwashing through, so I wouldn't trust one source solely, especially because I have a theory that a lot of stuff is also kept pushed under the rug by like government and stuff like that. So I think having a varied sort of amount of sources on your news is good to have.
Journalism is so sensationalized sometimes that it could be something happens and then you read about it, but it's this massive story. So I guess you just got to check that as well.
That's basically sufficient because it will give you full detail. So everything's there.
For me, I'd actually visit other sites. I'd actually go onto YouTube because I've actually watched something about a mermaid being discovered. And then I actually went on YouTube to see footage to actually get belief because people make up these things. So that's what I actually go on YouTube, get videos, trying to prove myself that it does exist.
Okay. So
No, I still don't believe that it's fake because I've seen a few footages.
I don't have a TV.
I don't have a TV.
I don't watch TV.
Not so much TV-wise, it's quite old-fashioned, I guess. So.
I'm not like a regular television news watcher.
Radio is more convenient because now you're driving to work or you're driving back home, so the channel's just on. I wouldn't just take a half an hour to go sit and watch TV or watch the news.
I think the newspaper is a bit of a Sunday novelty. Like if you go out for Sunday breakfast and the newspaper's there, you'll pick it up, but you're not necessarily reading it. Or you'll buy it on a Sunday. But for the novelty of it, I don't know if everyone's gonna read it back to front anymore.
I like the community newspapers, so Central Chronicle for me. I'll go through that. I won't actively buy a newspaper unless there's something really interesting happening, like with Mandela passing away. That would be something you'd want to buy.
We have newspapers in our home, but it's normally cut out because my grandmother's a real estate agent, so she cuts out a lot of different things. But for me, the ease of going online or onto an app is nice because I don't get bogged down by having to look through the pages. I can pretty much say what I'm interested in, go to it, read it, and it's done.
I still don't understand why newspapers have to be so big and so irritating to navigate. I hate it. That's why I won't use a newspaper. But I still get magazines and watch TV because that's easy.
The only newspaper I read is the Central Chronicle, which is delivered at home because it's mostly focused on the area and the neighborhood. That's the only newspaper I read.
I agree with Lisa. I don't like the format, and I don't like the way it makes your hands smell. I do like access news in magazines, well, tabloid news, and it's because it's nice to actually have something tangible sometimes instead of always accessing it electronically.
A lot of the time, without even knowing, you'll hear about what's happening in the news on Facebook because someone will make a status and it'll be sort of like in shock or horror or have some sort of opinion towards what's happened in the news. And then I'll read it and I'll be like, what's going on? And it'll intrigue me and so on.
There's always a conversation. Basically, someone comes up with an idea or tells you something that they heard, and then it just basically gets passed on, word of mouth.
We actually do a print screen.
Print screen?
So we print screen it and send it around to everybody else that actually
we use the
wants
snipping
to
tool.
see those.
I think if you're only in a work environment, though, at this age, you're going to send emails. Otherwise, it would be a message on Facebook or Twitter.
That's true, yeah.
Well, word of mouth of news gets around a lot quicker than actual anything else because that's when you start discussing, and that's when maybe the interest will pop up for you, and then you will go look it up or go find an article on there to read it. That's for me. That's how I think it helps out.
No, I think I'm a passive internet user, so I'm just like a watcher and I'll read things, but I wouldn't comment on anything really. I don't think I have enough information to have such a fully formed opinion to leave a comment, even though people leave comments all the time.
I definitely would comment if it's easy. So online is easy for me. I wouldn't actively write in or send an email or anything like that.
No, but I read theirs and sometimes laugh.
I read the comments and I also comment.
I do. I do on News 24. I definitely do, especially when it comes to politics.
When people are making comments and things like that, I find it it's a war zone. You make a comment and it's completely misunderstood or misconstrued, and suddenly you've got this big debate on your hands. I find it more problematic than sort of beneficial to myself to make comments.
No, I wouldn't subscribe because you can surf the net, you'll get the same information.
Not for a fee.
Not for a fee?
No. I don't think I found a magazine that I'm that interested in that I would, news related, that I would subscribe to.
I'm actually subscribed, but I haven't paid for anything yet because most of them, they're free.
Often you'll see like an article that you really like and then you can't access it and then you have to pay for it and then you don't have an account. So like if I was further in my career and like there was something that I was very interested in, like say psychology articles, I would subscribe to it.
I would, as long as I knew that it wasn't like available free. Like if I couldn't get similar content for free, I would pay.
A Moby site?
Yeah.
And what would be on that Moby site?
Well, just like you said, news. But news, I don't know. I feel like we focus, obviously there is a lot of negative, so I'm not saying we shouldn't focus on that, but there are lots of positive stories which I don't think people really write about. But it's probably because there's majority negative. But still, there are positive stories out there. We should, I don't know, maybe get onto that more.
Yeah, headlines, important to just know even if you don't read the article, just know what's happening. With politics, I do find quite interesting, but a lot of the time it's very repetitive, so that I wouldn't really give much time to.
I would go social media, probably anything that has like a video or a picture. I feel like that draws attention faster. I'd also make sure that the content isn't too long because people are on the go and they want to read it.
Maybe when someone's watching TV, you can put that small strip at the bottom of the TV where the headlines just go across. You can also do that during the day, during shows. That will really help.
Help in what way?
Because most people don't really tune in, like she said, to tune in to go and watch news. But if someone's watching a show and they just read the headline, just going across at the bottom, they might be interested in actually researching into it.
I think it's pretty obvious that the future is like, via social networking, especially for people of our age.